of the lobby, obviously kind of helping those players that are a little bit more down on the leaderboard than we would kind of guess.
Steamy stack, so Vano, Reddish, they're gonna be the first ones to touch ground, and Vano immediately trying to pan to a separate direction, trying to see if there's anybody that he can look to take out. Reddish, slightly different mentality, wants to just prioritize that loop path.
I just saw it in the feed too. It looks like Booga is getting his hands dirty this time, taking down PeterBot early. Mongrel getting taken down by Nikov, and you're just seeing a lot of these contested fights break out relatively early in some portions of the map. But for Zemi and Cooper, they are one of the few teams that have the most practice as an entire duo. They know how they want to play. They know how they want to approach the situations. So no matter what happens in and around their drop, I don't think they're going to get too antsy too soon.
Going in Flakes. They've been having to deal with the brunt of the focus, though, at Dirty Docks. We kind of expected that there'd be a lot of motion happening once we saw Faxity and Reason decide to last-minute contest on the day. But even with the heads-up from last night, even with Reason announcing it to everyone, we are going to that Dirty Docks strip. It still made things so difficult for Gone and Flakes today because everyone has just taken notice of that action.
That's kind of the thing, is everybody just kind of feeling each other out in the first couple of games and kind of realizing any strategies that kind of pointed out. Notice we've seen a lot of players solo dropping, letting their teammates keep them alive. It's about a 12-second respawn. You lose time on that respawn for knocks, eliminations, and full squad wipes. And hopefully they're able to kind of utilize it as PeterBot looking for a little bit of revenge, but it is going to be on Mongrel at the outside of the zone. Nice attempt by Mongrel trying to land the shot, even almost getting PeterBot boxed up, but he's just too quick and a little bit too fast that Mongrel's just going to have to slowly but surely try to back down and reassess the situation.
Pretty much all of FP's control, though, belongs to PeterBot, and he just continues applying pressure steadily to Mongrel. Mongrel, though, a little bit of a bite back here. Big crack into PeterBot's shield, and Ali A, he might actually have his revenge. PeterBot in a little bit of a pickle here, but Mongrel, he can't close in just fast enough.
Ali A really saying enough is enough, and now we got Ozzy versus Ali A. The almost full piece coming out from Ozzy. He is feeling the confidence. He probably heard the calm from Peter saying, bro, you have to get this guy off me. And now he's dancing, doing a little two-step on one side. Ozzy getting aggressive, and that's the thing. They are down further on the leaderboard than anyone would have expected. They need aggression, they need eliminations, and now that PeterBot won his, he said, yo, look, Pete, there's another.
It's not just that. Aussie pulling back. PeterBot likely telling Aussie, do not eliminate Ali A. Mongrel's already been taken out. We can focus him instead. We know that he's weak. We know that he's low, but PeterBot, it might have been a distraction. A fake out, if you will. As Aussie continues to try and chase out Mongrel, PeterBot is still watching, lying in wait for Ali A to expose himself.
I'm just saying, this is the Ozzy I really wanted to see. It feels like he's feeling himself right now. For Shockwave, breaks into the box, and he almost, oh, he does! Ozzy takes down Mongrel! Woo, this is what I came to see this weekend.
PeterBot was gassing Ozzy. I'm considering it a compliment when PeterBot says he's not as bad as I thought he would be. And hey, Ozzy backing that statement up. He is popping off. The fact is, Mongrel is gonna have some serious difficulties. He is being the punching bag now of match 4. Ali A might have just passed the torch along to his teammate.
He's just been hiding down underneath. PeterBot misses the shot, but now he has him full boxed up underneath. This is all over. As long as PeterBot can land the shots necessary, Ali A is not able to get out as he lands continuing shots after another. 3 straight back to back to back. But at least Ali A, you see the smile. He's a good sport for it.
My heart hurts every time Ali A gets eliminated at this point, Jacob. You gotta feel for them, but Mongrel's at least still alive. Aussie has opted to pull back. Slurpee still a little bit in zone, but this is the early game. There are still some recovery methods that could take place here. Don't want to count them out just yet, but it is going to be a very rough uphill battle for Ali A and Mongrel to find their momentum.
And at the end of the day, honestly, it doesn't matter how many times you go down, as long as you can go ahead and get eliminations from yourself to keep it relatively close. Nobody chasing them this time around, so Ali A and Mongrel will have a good opportunity to load up over on the eastern side of Slurpee Swamp. For now, until they get sniffed out by any of the competition. But I also did see Somerset getting taken down in the feed by Savage and Lachlan not too long ago, and she's forced to reboot. You notice she's not in the zone. She knows there's safety, there's time towards the outside, and that's exactly what she's doing.
Keep an eye, though. Benno and Reddish could be in a little bit trouble. They don't want to find themselves pincer between Courage, Cole, Thomas, Somerset, but Benno, he's exactly where he wants to be, tangoing with Seti. Gets that initial elimination and sends Seti packing.
Literally just stole that wall away, didn't give Seti a chance to think about what he's going to do. But Lachlan, fresh rebooted back up. You see him, watching him like a hawk. Coyote is going to be able to, I was going to say get the knock, but it's Thomas HD who steals that one away on the Lachlan yet again. So for Coyote and Captain Chota, even though they're going to have to rotate on out, they have to figure out a way to kind of seal the deal on some of these eliminations and not let them slip through their fingers.
And look, I understand that you're going to keep being brought back into this match so long as your duo is alive, but for Lachlan, for Mongrel Allier, we're looking at some of these teams that have just been struggling non-stop because they're not really getting an opportunity to farm anything up, Jacob. They're just trying to avoid being some of the first teams eliminated as Coyote, Shota now applying so much more pressure onto where Savage and Locky are actually at. And Coyote might be able to just force them to completely clash with them head on. But Savage is doing what he can. Savage is buying a little bit of space here.
Yeah, and this is a winnable situation for Mr. Savage. He has the pump. There's a Maven and attack on the other side. Not as hard hitting, even if you are a duo. So if Savage can figure out a way to wiggle in and out of some of these builds, draw out a 1v1, and maybe Lachlan catching somebody off guard, dealing some damage, it is going to be doable. They have the crash pad as well, 6 of them to be exact for Mr. Savage. So being able to disengage, also an idea in the back of their minds.
But if it's up to Savage, he'd much rather just let Coyote and Shota rotate out first, and they'll just try to play catch up after the fact. But with Thomas and Somerset also so close by, Benno and Reddish too, you can never count out being third party. So as aggressive as Shota and Coyote want to be, they're gonna immediately jump into Lachlan's box one more time. He is sent back to the reboot cycle, and this is where it gets very difficult because now Savage shooting at the crash pad, even trying to ensure that nobody can give chase, but he's just so low on material, Jacob. He is fully just bailing out.
Yeah, he's going over towards Steamy. He has to look for scraps, for bandages. That's going to keep him alive for a little bit longer. But if he doesn't find anything from here on out, Savage will go down yet again, but at least he's given a chance to get Lachlan back in the game. Somerset, Thomas, they got that one elimination from the backside of the zone. And this is a strategy, talking about Thomas and Somerset. If they go down early, they will not be afraid to stagger themselves back in the zone because it's Slurp Rush, Taco. There are so many barrels to get that HP back up.
For sure, but even then, you don't want to keep allowing other teams to farm those individual elimination points off of you. And one team that certainly hasn't had any difficulties hunting for those elims might just be PeterBot.
Okay, yeah, sweet. Come grab this. Okay,
I got the pulse rifle.
Wait, the pulse rifle?
Yeah.
Yo,
We win.
All right, so you want the great here, take.
I think it's coming out.
I got his back wall, goes back wall, but his box with him. Nice. That's not someone to rat on me, but I think we're chilling. Nice, good stuff, bro. Do you want to come over and help you?
No, it was only...
Yikes. I kind of fear for the rest of the lobby. Mongrel getting taken down twice, but the mythic pulse rifle in PeterBot's hands, you could deal so much damage by scoping in just like this from far away, or the hip fire spray kind of works similar to an SMG, so he is looted and booted, ready to go.
A couple of eliminations onto Mongrel, nice, sure enough, but PeterBot, he literally just said, we win. That is how confident he feels having this weapon at his disposal, Jacob, and the rest of the lobby, understanding the impact he might have, they're not going to try to stick around Slurpee Swamp much longer. They're all just trying to immediately rotate around it, but Thomas, the highlight reel is back with this mammoth pistol. They've been trailing behind Coyote and Captain Shota for so long, and now Shota, Coyote paying the price.
I really believed in Thomas hitting that last shot at the last second. I thought it was going to be possible, but those are the dangers that face around the entire lobby. If you kind of just get caught off guard for a second, the mammoth pistol, especially a headshot, can change the game around in the blink of an eye. Zemi and Cooper, they have such a good loadout, at least in the former global championship tandem Cooper. Zemi's there, and Zemi, no stranger to third-party style events. He has some big wins under his belt as well.
Saw for a moment there, caught a glimpse, PeterBot Aussie just looking to take an elevated peak position over Slurpee. They've got a pretty good idea of where some of the other teams are trying to rotate through. Queasy, Nick, a little bit more towards that front side of zone. Currently, Box just on a slightly hilled position. And Kanata, Ronaldo, they're just waiting for the traffic to come their way. They'll be more than prepared to look for those eliminations, but they want to prioritize the positioning.
You see Captain Shota just getting taken down yet again. PeterBot's the one that's going to clean up the elimination, but I believe the point actually does go over to Cooper and Zemi. And this is zone 6, 10 seconds left. Reboots will disable. So anybody that is eliminated now on respawn will have a chance to get back into the game. But Taco, as of now, reboots are disabled.
And that might just be worst case scenario here for Shota. He's trying to swing around. Fortunately for him, a little bit of indirect assistance from the lobby. PeterBot punished, loses half of his shield while trying to take those pot shots at Shota. And that is a big saving grace. But it might not make a difference for some of these other duos looking to rotate around Slurpee, Booga, Typical Gamer. Gotta be wary of what's lurking above.
Hey, PeterBot just continuing where he left off, just farming elim after elim after elim. Zone pulling towards the northwest or northeastern side of Slurpee Swamp here. Kind of back home for PeterBot and Ozzy, but for Seti and Daya, they have a decent rotation. They can one-hop it to the front side of the zone. They can sacrifice the HP if they want to try to take some high ground. But for now, they're just trying to take it slow and steady. 7th zone, 5 more to go. You don't want to bite out more than you can chew at any moment.
And look, it doesn't need to be flashy. For Seti and Daya, they found a lot of success with consistency by just playing to their team's strengths. Both of these players are competent. They've got a decent amount of LAN experience and just in-game competitive knowledge, and they're letting it be put on full display here currently. Savage and Lachlan, they've been working a little bit chalked since that early start, but Shota just cannot escape PeterBot's vision. PeterBot just entirely too high up. The advantages are so steep, and that's going to be Shota knocked one more time by PeterBot. Ozzy knows his responsibility. Let me just keep the material count high.
Yep, they're on the high ground right now, and that resource management is going to be crucial if you're looking to take it and keep it from zone to zone to zone and not really have to use the shockwave. Underneath, though, Cooper, Zemi, they do have the front side of zone already underneath their grasp. They have the luxury to be able to wait here, Taco. They can wait for it to open up, shockwave to the front side of zone to keep their position, or they can use their materials and tunnel their way there.
But some of these teams that were leading towards that top end leaderboard in our top 3 position, they've got to be getting a little bit nervous, seeing that elimination feed constantly light up with PeterBot's name and clicks. He's got a whole slew of problems right in front of him. Cooper and Zemi nearly taking him out. Lacey still a little bit left behind. Can he reunite? Crash pad gonna catapult him straight to the front side. He's building, he's boxing, but that's his last splash. Now he has to wait for Clicks to play catch up.
Now, at least they've reunited into the same box. Clicks now taking charge, even giving up some of the heals on over to Lazy. They might have shockwave him out of zone 1 game, but they won't want to make that mistake again, especially with the leaderboard this close. As Reason getting a pair of eliminations. Stable Ronaldo now left by himself with Panada getting taken down, and he's somebody, we talked about his experience. He has a ton of it, but how much is it?
It's gotta be enough, Jacob. If anything, Ron's familiar with pressure, so he'll try to let that experience carry over into this type of solo clutch, but clutching is going to be so problematic. Everybody just getting so congested outside of Slurpee, and with PeterBot and Aussie fully controlling the flow of this lobby, we saw Faxity for a moment, but it was only just a shockwave, a crash pad. Everybody trying to just stay one step ahead of the pack.
It's going to be extremely difficult for anybody to look up and try to contest it because of that mythic pulse rifle. Just constant pressure coming down from PeterBot and Ozzy. Everybody can feel it, and even PeterBot's just going down low, making sure to reconnect. The FNCS strategies are coming out in full force. That's how serious PeterBot's taking the second half.
And look at Aussie from behind, playing that supportive measure too. PeterBot, he's got open season on the rest of this lobby. All of these mid-tier, low-ground layers just getting smothered on top of each other. PeterBot and Aussie have a full chokehold on this lobby right now, but typical gamer, Booga, they're looking to try and make their debut. They're tarping their way through that secondary height, and Aussie, he's gonna be forced to actually pull back. Took a little bit too much damage. He's gonna have to wait for the heals to pay out, but now, Queasy still alive as a solo.
Shockwaving, destroying some builds, but giving him a little bit of cover to look through, but Lacey spots him out, gets the elimination. 10th zone, placement points have not even set in just yet. 11 teams still alive, relatively loose with a couple of players playing as solos, Booga being one of them. Lands a good shot on the Courage, but not enough to get that green light to go. Cooper, Zemi, they clean up Lacey, leaving Clicks by himself, and this is where players are falling left, right, and center. Clicks might be one of them because he's feeling the pressure.
And Clicks, he only has 2 builds left. Make that one build and a dream. Doesn't even get a chance to heal. He's gonna be taken out before he can continue trying to build up those placements. Zemi, Cooper though, one of our few healthy teams on the low ground, but can they escape PeterBot's vision? That's been the real deciding factor for so many of these teams. Courage also scrambling right next to them. Cole taking out Reason though. Very big troubles, very huge scenes though, as Courage finds his own elimination onto Jacob.
He just wiped the full duo out of the lobby. No siphon though, so 30 HP. The necessary time for that Chug to pop is now. PeterBot slowly but surely dropping down. They realize this one is all but over in their favor. 2 Shockwaves, half a Chug as well. More loot being passed up, but now they're contested. Flakes and gone, they're going up, but PeterBot's going out. He has the last grappler. He makes his way back to the zone. This is why he is king.
But PeterBot, he's got to get his way back towards where the zone is actually at. He doesn't want to find himself outside of it. Still has a Shockwave. He takes out Gone. That's going to be the massive refresh. All of these builds, Shockwaving up. One more tick could do it, but PeterBot barely managing to stay alive. He's on the high ground, and Aussie's still right behind him. Aussie's going to play Disruptor on low.
You don't know who he is until you realize that is Fragger Aussie on the low ground, causing chaos. PeterBot's chopping down Cooper, sending him all the way down low to that low ground, and now that's his chance to put down pressure. Only 3 teams remain, and only one of them is a strong duo because Courage has just gone down. Cooper has no choice but to try to make a play. Everybody left alive is going to be solos. Cooper versus Cold in the backside of the zone as he takes down Courage.
But Cold, he's right there in the mind of PeterBot. Cooper trying to do what he can. PeterBot doesn't have a whole lot of HP to work with. He'll at least have the opportunity, though, from the high ground to play off these small shield potions. Cooper goes up, but Cooper gets knocked down! PeterBot with the clutch! We all know what he's capable of, and he is just continuing to deliver!
Both of these guys are playing in synchronization to make things happen when it matters most. Aussie dropping to the low ground, PeterBot doing everything else. They waited to the second half, but they shown up and shown up big. Right, Frankie?
Well, they did show up big, and you know what? We know, PeterBot, you're the FNCS but please give it up the King Kangaroo!
I mean, I think for most of that end game, I was just trying to stay alive. I mean, you just let the best do what he does. I didn't really do much, but that was the whole plan.
You got 2 eliminations to your name. You were alive in that end game. How much difference did Aussie make to your game, Peter?
I mean, he stayed alive very long. I mean, he did his job.
You sound surprised.
No, I'm not surprised.
And we aren't either, because Aussie, stand up for me, please. Listen, I always look short, even standing next to you. So tell me, earlier I was speaking to the 2 of you, and it sounds like Pete's letting you IGL a bit.
I don't know about that. I think he just let me make one decision, but we're doing well. He's listening to my input. It's great. I mean, he's the greatest, but he still takes my advice. It's nice.
And your advice was to drop on Cooper and Zemi in game 2.
Okay, that sounds a bit bad. He wanted to go somewhere. I thought maybe that could be a play, but I love Cooper and Zemi, but...
It was your idea.
It was my idea.
I don't know why you credit it to Aussie, but I just want to ask you one more question. You got your first victory royale in the bag now, PeterBot. Does this mean the next 2 are yours as well?
I said we're going to win the last 3 games to Aussie, so...
All right, well, you heard the man. Let's see if he can make his prediction a reality after the break. PeterBot, let's see everyone!